All right. Thanks for making the Locked On Ole Miss podcast your first listen every day. They're free and available where you get your podcast. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit the bell for notifications, and participate in the conversation by commenting down below or upvoting the video itself. We'd appreciate that. Anyway, in today's transfer spotlight, and this is something I might be speaking out of turn, I might be speaking out of school. I don't know anything that is going to happen, but there's one player in the transfer portal that kind of excites me, and I'm interested to see him. With Barry Odom going to UNLV, I think Jalen Catalan might end up out there because he's a perfect player for that style defense, but Ole Miss runs that style defense as well. And I am, of course, talking about Jalen Catalan. The oft injured, I should say, defensive back has been the difference between Arkansas having a very good defense and Arkansas having a bad to sort of mediocre defense. He has been the difference maker between those 2 points. He plays a role in this defensive setup to where he does a good job stopping the run. And that's always, as you know, that's always important with this defense, stopping the run. And he is going to come up and shot out of a cannon, do whatever he needs to do. He can also cover receivers, and that drop 8 becomes even more effective. And I'm interested to see what he could be. He would be a Jake Springer type player in this defense. He is somebody that would play box safety. He would be lined up there with Ladarius Tennyson. This defense has talent that is all over the field building up more and more. This signing class is going to be exactly the same because even the 4 stars that transfer out are 4 stars that weren't really playing. So you have a chance to upgrade with every signing class. Jalen Catalan would be an absolute upgrade in the competition at the box safety position. And I'm only referring to one because if I think when Suntarine Perkins gets to campus, the defense is going to look more like a 3-3-5 because of his versatility. As soon as he gets here, they're going to get him in the weight room, do whatever he needs to do, and try and build him up. By the time football season starts, possibly 220, 25 pounds. So you're automatically taking a 3-2-6 defense and creating a 3-3-5. Same position, same players, same scheme, everything's the same. It's just you have a little bit more size for that physics problem that I always talk about. So if you look on the other side of the defense, where Ladarius Tennyson is, Isheem Young kind of goes, there's a rotation that happens amongst the safeties in that backfield. At this point, all 4 of them, but I think it's going to be all 3 of them eventually. You'll see exactly how that's where he would fit in on the other box safety position, to where him and Tennyson and all that can kind of lay out and do what they need to do. And he can cover receivers. He could be a physical presence in the run game. And the defense, I think, has a chance to get better, improve, get more predictable, more consistent. And I don't mean predictable in a bad way. I mean predictable as far as the coaches going out there and kind of knowing what's going to happen before the game starts. So we'll see what this defense looks like. I'm thinking Tysheem Johnson will end up potentially back at free safety. I think Isheem Young will end up back at strong safety, playing kind of that Otis Reese role. That's going to leave that box safety, Jalen Catalan potentially, Ladarius Tennyson. They're going to play that role of being a safety right up near the line of scrimmage. I think it's going to happen. I think next year you're going to see an Ole Miss defense that is more aggressive. Everybody talks about this team being aggressive and violent. That didn't really materialize this year. They were kind of laid back, and there was a lot of drop 8. Because if you have drop 8, you might as well use it because, let's just be real, college quarterbacks are not that good. And if you can make those windows smaller, they will make mistakes generally. The problem is, though, that Ole Miss this year, whenever they did that, exposed the weaker edges of their defense. So you need to kind of shore up those edges and figure out what's going on, or teams are going to consistently run off tackle against this defense and consistently make it difficult to stop that offense. It's going to make it difficult to stop the passing game, We talked about Arkansas after Catalan got hurt this season, to where they ruined their pass defense trying to stop the run because teams figured out how to run the ball that same way against that defense. And Catalan was the bridge that made them difficult to run the ball, because what he does is upon the snap of the ball, he's in the backfield. It's massive penetration wherever he is, and he throws off the track of the back. And that allows the other parts of the defense to rush up and attack them. That's the secret to stopping the run in this 3-2-6, is to keep the running back from being able to run exactly downhill. Because if they do that, the offense has the advantage. But if the running back is forced to take a couple of lateral steps and it's a little bit slower moving there, and teams can kind of converge and hit their run fits a little bit earlier, it's harder to run on this defense because just the way it's set up. So he would provide a Jacob Springer type player in this defensive line. Now, I do not think the defensive scheme is going to be totally changed. I just don't. It's a defense that is very good at handling play volume, which with this offense is a strong thing that they need to be concerned about. So I do think they're going to try with body type to make this defense the best that it can possibly be and make it SEC ready. Because right now, when they came in, it was Big 12 ready. Big 12 ready. Now they're going to take some concepts and they're going to be like the air raid eventually. So don't be overly concerned, but they're going to take some concepts, figure out what's going on, and then kind of fill in old school defense with with what they already do. Now, what I'm saying is you'll have 3-2-6, but they'll also do 3-4 type stuff, some 3-3-5 type stuff, and it's all going to be within a multiple defense. I hope that's fairly clear. Anyway, thanks for tuning in today. Today was a lot of fun. I enjoyed getting in the weeds a little bit today, and I hope everybody enjoyed the show. And thank you for making the Locked On Ole Miss podcast your first listen today. For your second listen today, check out Locked On Sports Today. From the games that matter the most to the biggest stories in sports, go beyond the scoreboard and behind the scenes with local experts and insights only Locked On can provide. Locked On Sports Today is available on this app, YouTube, and wherever you get your podcast. This transfer spotlight, this third segment, will pop up later on in the afternoon as a standalone as well, so don't freak out if you see that. But thank you very much for listening, and we will see you tomorrow as we march toward early signing day. Take care, man.